All right, folks, we are back here at the end of this week, this Thursday, March 28th. I say the end of this week, of course, Friday tomorrow, Good Friday. Markets are closed, but great to have all of us back inside our live trading room here this morning. We got Brian, Andrea, Grant, Brad, had Alex just before. So Kathleen saw it later, saw the ladies at the trading room just a moment ago too. And now you could actually see me. Hey, got the webcam up here today. So great to see all of our students back inside our trading room and back on social media, perhaps. That being always late to the party on this one. At Cyber Trading U for all of us on YouTube, Facebook Live, all of our social media streams. Lower left will pop up at Cyber Trading U. If you're not followed or subscribed to any of our streams or platforms, namely YouTube, that's actually where we host all of our main videos and education there. So just at Cyber Trading U, be a friend, tell a friend. And with that, folks, we got the phase 2 class actually beginning today. So continuing along with class week for the month of March, all of our gold, platinum, and diamond students here. I see like Michael, Grant, I saw Andrea, I saw Phil, Kevin, John, Kathleen, just a litany of different students, longtime students, and gold, platinum, diamond access. And folks, you have the phase 2 course lined up this morning. We're going to go a lot further into volume, but actually here this morning, a little quick pop quiz for all of us here inside our live trading room. Doesn't matter what student level you may be. Let me take a little snapshot. Live right now. This is live, but what's the spread when you look at this level 3 for Michael, Grant, all of our students here? What's the spread right there where you look at the bid and the ask? What's the spread in that little snapshot? Larry, too. Awesome. Great to have Larry here. Wendy, Chris. 2 cents, right? All of our students saying 2 cents in our chat board right now. So that's live. That was just one quick snapshot. But that's what the spread was all throughout the morning here. After the pop, it was coiling up. Honestly, it wasn't looking too strong here during this consolidation. But this is where I'll tell you, like, it pays to follow the chat, to be active in the chat board, but also to follow just really the moderators, myself, Rich, Fausto, all throughout the morning. I'll show you how to like toggle a little option so you could actually just focus on the moderators. But just namely here at 8:27, I'll get the chat for all of us. Wayne was talking about it. Grant was talking about it. My guy Rich here just at first made the news post on it. BDRX at 8:27 started to make a move, and Rich posted the news there, extending life expectancy against aggressive brain cancers. That sounds like a phenomenal headline there. With that in mind, it didn't really make a great squeeze until like 8:45, 8:44. I wrote to you all, I said like BDRX moving back above VWAP for now. For now is obviously always full transparency. It's not always perfect where the stock will make the exact move that you'd want to see it make. But basically, if I can, I don't even have it on the level 4 here. So, this was a really good trade once it broke above the VWAP price. That's really what I was focused on my platform. But VWAP price has moved up since. You could better see it right here on my level 4 screen. Smooth white line. It was right off of 109, 110, and really just took another snip above the level. And even popping up higher now. I got out on this trade a little earlier just to take the money and run. I was just content with doing that to begin my day. Last couple mornings pre-market, I just been sitting on the sidelines, and this had a pretty good squeeze to it. Nice spread. Had a good order book at the time. The more this pops up, though, here, it's going to thin out. The spread's going to open up a lot more just, if this decides to squeeze up more here. So, hey, I'm going to put this on our watch list to begin. I was actually just going to grab my phone. Got my notepads back. Yeah, Amazon Prime. There we go. BDRX. Going to put that on my notepad here for the open. See if there's anything else looking good, though, folks. Again, what I want to do is go back on a couple of trades that we did have from yesterday. Obviously, if you were here yesterday, then you know that this CGC trade was like a gold mine pretty much. So basically the level that we were all harping on throughout the day, it was the Friday close price from last week. That was at 769. And you could just see that right there, March 22nd. We're going to talk more about that in the phase 2 class this morning. I did allude to that at least from class yesterday. So again, Rich, if you want to even post the link, we're going to have class later on at 10:35 this morning, but we're going to post the link now for any of our students. If you want to really just get in the class early, we got a full hour of market open, action ahead. But with that in mind, at least, the CGC trade, 769 break above resistance, flipped into support. It was perfect from there. Obviously from there, kind of squeezed up a little bit higher going into the after hours, into the pre-market early. I'm going to keep this on our watch list. It's hard for me to not put this on our watch list. It's not like it's down 15, 20%, like it's on the losers list. It's down 1% from the close yesterday. So there's a chance it continues to stumble lower. And in that case, then we'll just kind of move on from it. But for now, it's kind of hard for us to ignore the CGC trade because it's still well within our price range. It's very liquid stock still, has a great order book by the time the market will open up. So that's the type of stock you still want to kind of fixate on. Now, a couple other stocks you want to fixate on too. Had the Mara trade from yesterday. That turned into a swing trade for me. So on the lower right, you'll see that for all of our students. That ended up being a swing trade. And, I wanted CLSK to also be a swing trade. That actually stopped me out before the market closed. But, it was the Mara trade here. At least this was a better move across the morning session. It was really off 21 that I got this in from from after class. I was on a coaching call with one of our students, Larry, here in chat. And it was really 21, 2107, that trio of resistance or support rather, and that ended up holding pretty nicely going into the afternoon. So hey, Mara with Bitcoin moving up and down again, it's going to be hard for us to ignore these trades going into the open. CLSK, man, I wanted this to really break over 24. So this had a similar push as Mara made going into the mid to late morning, but just this ended up failing to make the clean breakout from 24. I was telling you all in the chat board, like between the last few trading days, 24 is the key level. So it was testing it once, testing it twice, even 3 times here, and it just failed. So I ended up getting stopped out going into the afternoon. But Mara trade still looking really nice. CLSK is still going to be on our side list, at least for the open. What else did we have? We had, well, to be transparent with you here, at least ACB, another pot stock, actually moved pretty nicely with the CGC move. So if I put CGC on our watch list, it's hard for us to also ignore this one. I'll keep this on our side list, though, kind of with the Mara, with the CLSK there. All tradable, but let's just go down the gainer side here coming up, seeing if there's anything looking just even better. An IBIO, of course, we'll talk about coming up in just a bit. All right, AVTX to begin. I don't know what the news is out on this company. It looks like it led to a big pop in the after hours. I got a tiny amount of time here. I'm going to just pull this up while I can here. Goes to the AVTX, Benzinga Pro. Trading higher after the company announced it acquired a phase 2 ready, not phase 2 classes coming up, but phase 2 pharma we're obviously talking about here. So a bunch of words above my pay grade through the acquisition of privately held Almada Bio. All right, well, I'm not going to try and dig further into that headline. Led to a big reaction. Stocks already up 302% going into the morning. What was the last time it was around $19? Technically, I guess you could say it's back from even the end of last year, not too long ago. There had to have been some sort of reverse stock split since that time, I feel. I just don't feel like a stock really $1,600 or $1,400 a share back at the end of 22, now at near, dollars at that going into today. So I feel like there had to have been a reverse split factored in also with this news, led to a better squeeze up going into the after hours last night. Traded at your discretion. I'd rather follow stocks that I can make a better decision on, Now, hey, XLO, this popped right as I was putting the pre-market list out. So this is where ignorance goes against us here because I didn't really check the news on this XLO. And the way it's moving now, it leads me to believe it's a buyout. So let's see, Gilead and XLO announced exclusive license agreement, not a buyout. Deal includes $43.5 million up front, up to $604 million in additional contingent payments, blah, 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 blah. A bunch of other stuff going on there too. It's not a buyout. Why is this moving so crappy then? This looks like a buyout, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you also, because I'm going to put this on our watch list again. XLO, if it was buyout news, then I would not have touched it, but it doesn't even seem to be. It looks like a buyout, though. All right, Grant saying PIK was nice this morning at 583 now. We'll get to that one in just a second there. Keep going down our gainers list here for the time being. BCG, not really looking too good. That takes us to PIK. It's still looking pretty active here. Had a good move going into 8 o'clock afterwards. Spread not horrible for pre-market here. Obviously open here and there, but not the worst that we've ever seen. You definitely want it to fill in by the time the market opens up. So yeah, I'll add PIK also to our watch list. Doesn't hurt us to do that now. Just keep going down here pretty quick. BDRX. It's a shame to get out a little early, but at the end of the day, I think that we all realize that we're going to find better opportunities going into the market open. This is where I tell you, you don't need to wake up at the ass crack of dawn to be trading and doing this and that, especially when there's a stock like this moving right now, right? So, hey, I'm not in this at this point, but there's going to be better trades even for coming up for later on. So you can't really tie yourself up with emotion if you miss out on part of a move or if the stock's still running up without you. Move on. All right, so at least for the time being, we move on as we continue to go down our gainers list here. IBIO. All right, obviously got to talk about IBIO. So from yesterday's move, this thing was a royal, pardon my language again, royal pain in the ass here, because you don't really expect to see a stock be this choppy when it's looking this good going into the open. Yeah, you had a good pre-market level right off of 279, 280. It was choppy all throughout the morning there. It had a nasty shake at this point here, finally held above it as support, but then again, another nasty shake and it broke lower. So this was, as I would say, through like the spin cycle. You put the laundry through the washer, through the dryer, it's going through the spin cycle. The stock is going through the spin cycle here, just choppy up and down. And then finally going into the mid-afternoon, you get the run that you want to have. So, I was pretty jaded by the morning. I missed out on this trade heading into the mid-afternoon. Again, it is okay to miss out on a move as long as there's something else moving, at least that you can make your money on. And obviously for us yesterday, CGC, Mara, there's a whole bunch of trades. So again, going into the open, if you got bit by IBIO yesterday, just don't let it be noise to you. Simple as that. Just who cares? Focus on another stock. I'm going to put it on our watch list, especially just because it's still up percentage-wise. It's still going to have a good order book by the time the market opens up. But we'll see if it's a better trade today than it was yesterday. There's still going to be some good iceberg levels out there. From Michael, he was asking about MESO, MESO, just in chat. I saw that before. I was going to get to all chat at the end, but I saw this on the gainer side here, number 9, and definitely moving on up right now. It's up 22%, just with a big pop the last candle there, Michael. Yeah, looking pretty interesting. We'll just back to the news here. Newsman Levitan this morning. Let's see. MESO. This news from Tuesday. I don't really have any follow-up in relation to the company exactly here. A bunch of like general headline stuff. So this is like the last headline back from Tuesday of this week, of this morning. Phase 3 study. So, hey, nice pop. It's something that you'd like to see happen off of, especially phase 3 type of pharma news. MESO. Good shout from Michael there, live at the time. Found it on our gainers list. Keep going through. See if there's anything else looking good. Current time 9:13. Also want to make sure that we have enough time to prep up and we're good to go for the open. Hello. OPK. It's not up a whole lot percentage-wise. I mean, 7.5% looks good in terms of that number, but really, if this thing shakes down like 3 pennies, it's gonna, it'd probably be like 4%, 3%. So, this stock seems like maybe a bit of a gap fill in the daily chart back from the beginning of this year. But really, this company, if you're familiar with it back from 2020, this was a COVID stock. OPK, OPCO Health. I definitely recall this stock was more in the antibody testing stuff compared to actual vaccine. So I think the vaccine companies were CODX, Vaxxert, INO, Moderna, obviously, and Pfizer, obviously, and all that. But like OPK, I remember they were antibody testing, and they had a good pop back in March of 2020. Then they ran up again going into June, July. They were a fun trade back then. So maybe they can make another run back up today. It's possible. Here we are. It's shaking back down a couple pennies here, like I was kind of warning you. I'm going to put this on the side, at least for now. Just a little slow for my blood. That's all. XPEV. And now we're kind of dipping below 5%. All right. So if there's anything else looking good on the way up, Kathleen, Brad, Leonard, Margaret, all of our students, Dominic, in chat right now, definitely let me know. AMC. Ooh, one more for the news. One more for the news, just because I'm personally interested in this. I didn't see AMC drop at 8 o'clock. Is this like earnings related or what? Let's see. News here. Oh, hello. That's a big number. AMC shares are trading lower after the company entered an equity distribution agreement to sell shares from time to time with an aggregate offering price of $250 million through an at-the-market program. So sounds to me like that's kind of, well, if they're selling shares, then interesting move down. Normally with like something like a common stock offering of shares or direct offering, you tend to get this drop and then flattening out after. So that's what I thought it may have been. But you know what? It's hard to borrow. You can't really short it anyway. So I'm going to pass on it. It's just a little funky to see AMC drop at 8 o'clock like that. Didn't know if it was like earnings or whatnot. Rumble. The stock also from earlier this week has treated us pretty nicely back on Tuesday of this week. Ended up having a big pop, but came back down, moving a little bit lower. We'll keep it on our side list, Rumble. We like it. And I'll tell you, I think that's pretty much, that's pretty much it, folks. If there's anything else looking good, up, down, left, right, more than 5%, all of us here in chat right now, Jacqueline, Michael, Margaret, Dave, Grant, all of our students here right now, just type it in the chat board. Just let me know. I didn't really have too many stocks on our side list outside the Mara and the CLSK. We'll keep them on our side list for right now. Nothing really too special about them this morning. So again, we got the phase 2 class this morning coming up, folks, at 10:35. So again, we'll post the link just later on again, just so we're all prepared for that. But if you want to make sure that you were good to go just with the audio, with the video, we'll just make sure that you're set there. Scott saying selling shares, just following up on AMC there. Brian on Mezzo. There we go. That was from before. DKNG from Lee. Yes. Let's take a look at DKNG. How's that doing? Bouncing back up a little bit, making a nice little bounce back up. We were alluding to that, saying like, whatever news came out yesterday on DraftKings, even if you're not in tune with like the sports world or the degenerate sports gambling world like I am, got college basketball tonight, so got a couple bets there too. Make more money in trading, but it's to say it's always fun. Now it's fun to a lot of people, and there was some news that came out yesterday morning with DraftKings, something about like banning bets relating to college sports, but not even like in general, just like a very specific niche type of bet. It's kind of weird. Like that's a pretty big reaction there for such a small niche type of category there that they're like banning. I didn't think it was a big to do. And I was saying to you in the afternoon session when I found it, I was like, whoa, hey, I didn't even realize DraftKings dropped. This could be a dead cat bounce. That's what I was saying to him. Like, I feel like this could be like an overblown reaction to the news. Not up a whole lot this morning, but up 1%. Keep it on your side list. It's a good stock to keep in mind. Looking for a squeeze today. That's what I think. Just make sure that 45 level holds the support. That's namely what I was also saying in chat yesterday too. IAG from Grant, good stock to keep on your side list, I'd say there, or from Kathleen, pardon me. Brian in on calls on DraftKings. There we go, man. Nice. All right. I think that's pretty much it, folks. Hey, we got to make sure that we have enough time to prep up so we're good to go for the open. Last call here, just checking out Benzinga Pro Scanner, IBIO, Mezzo. That's pretty much it. AVTX, I think that we talked about, right? That was the crazy one, right? Yeah, the AVTX. We said we'd get back to. All right. It doesn't hurt us to put this on the quote-unquote watch list, but that's where I say this is not the CTU. You must trade the stock watch list, right? Because, hey, even the other day, we had DJT on the pre-market watch list when it made that big pop. That doesn't mean it's like a great pre-market trade. It's a stock for you to prep your levels for, at least for pre-market, if not going into the open. But, I was seeing a trader, like they were down big on DJT in pre-market. Remember, folks, you can't set stops in pre-market to begin with, right? So just because it's on the list doesn't mean it's going to be a great trade. If the order book doesn't fill in, then it's going to be a lot tougher, first off. But also then, at that point, that could be a trade to focus on for afterwards, for later on when the market does open. Here with this list, a stock like AVTX, well, at least now you can set your stops, when the market opens up. At least, you can at least have that seatbelt on. But still trade small share size. The spread's enormous on this thing. I don't know if it's going to fill in. So I'll put it towards the bottom of our watch list, but there are better trades, the BDRX, the CGC, and all the other ones that we have on top. So best of luck trading going into the market open, folks, for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me over a quick email. Josh@ctutrading.com is the handle. I always like to post that at the end of these streams here. We go live in the morning and afternoon each and every weekday. Aside from tomorrow, markets closed tomorrow. Keep that in mind. Got Good Friday at least. So I'll be back at least on the mic later on this afternoon.